Every time you walk into the gym, walk in like a warrior, head high, eyes sharp, mind locked in. Not for show, not for status, but because that room is your battleground. It's where you confront your weakness, where you face your fear, where you conquer your inner quitter. Let me tell you something that most people don't want to hear. No one is watching you. There's no applause waiting when you walk into that gym. Nobody is sitting in the stands, cheering your name when you hit that last rep. It's you, the weights, the silence. And the truth is, that's all you need, because applause fades, crowds leave, hype dies, but the iron never lies. It doesn't care how tired you are. It doesn't care how many followers you have. And it sure doesn't care how many people doubted you. It just sits there, waiting for you to prove who you really are when no one is watching. The gym is not a playground. It's not a social club. It's a battlefield. Every time you step foot on that floor, you're walking into a fight, not against someone else, but against yourself, against your excuses, against your laziness, against that voice in your head that says, not today, maybe tomorrow. The iron exposes the truth. It strips away the lies you tell yourself. You can fake it to the world, but you can't fake it to the barbell. You either lift it or you don't. You either push through or you break. This battlefield doesn't hand out participation trophies. It only gives two outcomes, victory or defeat. Here's the thing, being alone is not a curse. It's not a punishment, it's the test. Loneliness shows you who you are without the noise, without the crowd, without the validation. That's where strength is born. The strongest men and women in history, they weren't built in the spotlight, they were forged in silence. Muhammad Ali said the fight is won far away from witnesses, behind the lines, in the gym, long before he danced under the lights. That's what being alone does. It forces you to dig deeper, to prove to yourself, not anyone else, that you're willing to suffer for the dream. The question is simple. Are you strong enough to walk into that gym with no one watching? Are you strong enough to keep grinding when no one claps, no one notices, no one praises you? Because that's what separates the crowd from the champions. Anyone can show up when it's popular. Anyone can train when they're surrounded by hype. But real strength, real greatness, that's built when it's just you, the sweat dripping down your face, and the voice in your head telling you to quit. If you can conquer that moment, if you can rise in silence, then nothing, no obstacle, no doubt, no critic can ever break you. Silence scares people. That's why so many drown themselves in distractions, music blasting, scrolling endlessly, surrounding themselves with noise, just to avoid being alone with their own thoughts. But let me tell you something, silence is where champions are made. Silence is not empty, it's full of answers. When you strip everything away, when it's just you and your breath, you find out who you really are. Champions don't run from silence, they train in it. They use it, they let it sharpen their focus like a blade. When you're alone, there's no one to blame, no one to hide behind. It's just you, your choices, your actions. And that's why solitude is so powerful. It removes the safety nets. If you skip the set, it's on you. If you quit halfway, it's on you. There's no excuse left to cling to. And in that raw, unfiltered moment, you come face to face with your truth. That truth can be painful, but it's also liberating. Because once you own it, once you stop lying to yourself, you can finally start building the version of you that you dream of becoming. Think of steel. It doesn't become strong by sitting in comfort. It's placed in fire, hammered, shaped, refined. That's what solitude does to you. It's the fire that burns away weakness. It's the hammer that shapes resilience. The hours you spend training alone, sweating in silence, with no recognition, those are the moments forging your strength. Every rep is a strike of the hammer. Every drop of sweat is part of the fire. And when you emerge from that solitude, you're not fragile, you're unbreakable. The world tells you that being alone is sad, that it means you're unwanted or left behind. That's a lie. Alone doesn't mean weak. Alone means focused. Alone means disciplined. Alone means dangerous. Because when you learn to move without the crowd, you become unstoppable. When others need motivation, you're already moving. When others need someone to hold their hand, you've already finished the work. Alone makes you lethal, because you're not dependent. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You create it. The hardest part of solitude is not the silence. It's the mirror. It's standing in front of yourself and asking, am I doing enough? Am I giving my best? Most people avoid that question because they don't like the answer, but solitude forces you to confront it. The reflection doesn't lie, and if you can handle that weight, if you can face your own reflection, own your flaws, and still keep moving forward, then there's nothing in this world that can stop you. That's why solitude is a gift, not a curse. It's the training ground for your mind, your character, your destiny. Too many people put their progress on pause, waiting for someone else, waiting for a training partner to join, waiting for the right coach, the right support, the right moment. Let me tell you the truth, they're not coming. Stop waiting, because every day you wait for someone else, you waste another day. You could be building yourself. Champions don't wait for permission. They don't wait for backup. They get up, they show up, and they do the work. Alone if they have to. Ask yourself, if your partner quits, do you quit too? If your friends lose interest, do you stop chasing your dream? If the hype dies down, do you fold? That's the danger of depending on others. You tie your discipline to their commitment. And when they fall, you fall with them. But true strength, true discipline, it's untouchable because it doesn't depend on anyone else. You have to decide right now that no one else's choices will dictate your path. Here's the truth about the gym, and the truth about life. No one can lift your weight for you. They can spot you, they can encourage you, but they can't carry the load. That's yours, your responsibility, your burden. And that's not a curse, it's a gift, because it means your progress, your transformation, your victory is 100% in your hands. You're not at the mercy of anyone else. You control it. You decide it. At the end of the day, it's not about being better than the guy next to you. It's not about proving your worth to the crowd. It's about beating the old you. It's you against you, and that's enough. Because if you can beat yesterday's version of yourself every single day, then you're winning. That's how champions are built. Not through applause, not through crowds, but through the quiet, relentless war against their own weakness. Let me tell you something that most people miss. The gym isn't just a place to build muscle. It's a place that reveals your mindset. Every rep you do, every single one, is a decision. A decision to push forward or to hold back. A decision to grow or to stay the same. In every set, that's a reflection of your discipline, your habits, your grit, the way you lift, the way you rest, the way you push through. It's all a mirror showing exactly how you face challenges in the rest of your life. If you half-rep your squats, you're probably half-stepping your goals. If you skip your last set because you're tired, what else are you quitting when it gets hard? How you train says everything about how you live. And the people who commit in the gym, day after day, set after set, without skipping, without whining, they're the same ones who show up strong when life hits back. You can't separate the man or woman you are under the barbell from the person you are outside the gym. How you train is how you live. Do you cut corners? Do you find excuses? Do you push through when your legs are shaking, when your arms are burning, when your mind is screaming for rest? If you push past that pain in the gym, you're more likely to push through stress, rejection, and failure in life. If you give it everything under the iron, you'll give everything to your job, your relationships, your goals. You want to build better habits outside the gym. Start inside it. You want more discipline in life? Earn it rep by rep, set by set. Real world example, David Goggins. That man transformed his life with a simple truth: suffering builds strength. He didn't wait for life to get easier. He made himself harder. That mindset, it wasn't born in comfort. It was built under pressure. In the gym, in silence, in pain. Let's get real. If you quit in the gym, you'll quit in life. That's not just a catchy phrase, it's a law. The discipline you lack under the weights becomes the discipline you lack under pressure. You think skipping one workout doesn't matter. It's not about the workout, it's about the principle. Every time you say it's fine, I'll go tomorrow, you're training your brain to accept delay. And delay kills dreams. People say, it's just the gym. No, it's not just the gym. It's a testing ground. It's where your habits are formed. It's where you build resilience. If you train your mind to quit when it gets hard, don't be surprised when you walk away from hard conversations, tough decisions, or big opportunities. Quitters don't just quit workouts, they quit life. Here's the truth. The pain you're running from in the gym is temporary. The soreness will fade. The breathlessness will pass. But the regret of quitting, that lasts. Regret doesn't fade. It festers. It sits with you at night. It creeps into your thoughts and whispers, you could have done more. And that voice will haunt you longer than any set ever will. Think about it. Have you ever regretted a workout you finished? Ever left the gym thinking, I wish I hadn't pushed through? No. But how many times have you skipped a session and felt guilty the rest of the day? That's the contrast, temporary pain or permanent regret. You choose. You think it's hard now. Imagine how hard it'll be when you wake up 10 years from now, realizing you stayed the same. Same body, same mindset, same excuses. That pain of change, it's nothing compared to the pain of staying stuck. Yes, you go to the gym to train your body, but the real work is in training your mind. The muscles are just the proof. The mindset is the prize. Every time you want to quit and don't, you're training mental toughness. Every time you finish a set when your body wants to collapse, you're rewriting your limits. Look at people like Jocko Willink. He's in the gym at 4:30 every morning. Not for abs, not for aesthetics, but for discipline. That's what separates warriors from the world. They don't train for applause. They train for readiness. They train for life. Your mindset is the engine that powers everything else. If it's weak, your goals will stay dreams. If it's strong, you become unstoppable. So next time you pick up the bar, don't just count reps, count who you're becoming. Let's cut through the noise. Loneliness isn't your enemy, it's your advantage. While most people crumble without company, you become stronger in silence. When there's no one around to motivate you, no one pushing you to move, and you still show up. That's resilience. That's real grit. We're living in a world addicted to validation. One post, one like, one comment, and boom, they feel good. But what happens when no one validates your grind? That's when most people stop. That's when the crowd vanishes. But not you. Because loneliness for you is no longer a curse, it's a forge. Picture this, a warrior sitting alone by the fire, sharpening his blade. There's no one there cheering, no one clapping, just sparks flying off steel. That's you in the gym. Every rep you grind out in silence is another stroke on your blade. You're preparing for life's battles. And make no mistake, life will test you. People will doubt you. Situations will break you, unless you're already forged in solitude. Kobe Bryant once said that the most dangerous player wasn't the one on the court, it was the one who practiced in silence when no one else was watching. That's where legends are made. In the dark. In the quiet. In the grind. No one sees. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for perfect playlists, perfect partners, perfect vibes. Let me be real, you don't need hype. You need hunger. Hype fades fast. Hunger, it stays. Hype is sugar, it spikes and crashes. Hunger is fuel, it burns steady and long. When you walk into that gym, it doesn't matter if the music's off, the energy's low, or you're dragging your feet. What matters is that you show up and stay. That you do the work even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one cares. That's what champions are made of. Grinding through gray days. You don't need external motivation when you've got internal discipline. Discipline doesn't flinch. It doesn't snooze. It doesn't complain. It does the work. Every single day, it's your spotter, there when the weight gets heavy. It doesn't lift it for you, but it makes sure you don't drop it. Consistency, that's your coach. It teaches you the rhythm of greatness. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present, again and again. Even on the days when your body says no, when your mind is tired, you still show up, and that's what builds power over time. And then there's pain. Pain is the toughest teacher you'll ever meet, but also the most honest. Pain doesn't lie. It shows you your weaknesses. But if you stay with it, if you learn from it, if you let it shape you, it becomes your greatest strength. The pain of discipline is far lighter than the pain of regret. Look at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He trains at 4 a.m. most days. Not because it's fun, not because there's a crowd watching, but because he knows success is built in isolation. He calls it the Iron Paradise for a reason. That's solitude. That's his edge. And you can have that edge too. When others scroll, you grind. When others party, you plan. When others sleep, you sacrifice. Because while they wait for company, you walk alone, and that's why you'll win. Let's flip the script. Being alone isn't a punishment. It's a privilege. You're not abandoned. You've been handed the rarest opportunity of all space to grow without distractions. Most people live crowded lives, crowded minds, crowded schedules, crowded opinions. They can't hear themselves think, let alone improve. But you've been given room to evolve. No noise, no pressure to please. Just you, your mission, and the raw grind. Think about it. Every powerful transformation in history began in isolation. Nelson Mandela, 27 years in prison, alone with his thoughts, emerging with a vision that changed a nation. That wasn't a delay. That was preparation. Your loneliness isn't holding you back. It's building something in you that the world won't understand until they see the result. When you're alone, distractions start to die off. There's no peer pressure, no opinions pulling you sideways, no fake motivation. What's left is clarity, and clarity is power. Because when you're focused, nothing can stop you. You stop comparing your journey to others. You stop chasing attention. You stop being pulled in a dozen directions. You start owning your path. You start building results in silence. When the world goes quiet, your vision gets louder. You start to see who you are, what you want, and where you're going. That's what solitude gives you. Laser focus, and focused people. They move mountains. Seeds don't grow in the sun. They grow underground, in the dark, in silence, unseen. That's where the roots dig deep. That's where strength is born. And when the time is right, they break through the surface, stronger, taller, unstoppable. You're not unseen. You're just underground. You're not falling behind. You're digging deep. Every rep you do in an empty gym. Every early morning when no one's awake. Every sacrifice you make that no one claps for. That's your root system. That's your foundation. Look at anyone who's ever done something great. Michael Jordan, waking up before sunrise to shoot 1,000 free throws before school. Serena Williams, grinding away on the court long after others went home. Nobody saw those hours. But you see the greatness now. You don't need the spotlight. You need the soil. You need the grind. You need the dark. Because that's where greatness is grown. They'll laugh. They'll mock your silence. They'll call you obsessed. They'll say you're wasting your time. Let them. Because the ones who laugh now, they'll be the same ones clapping later. Let them see you walk into that gym alone. Let them see you skip the parties, miss the trends, ignore the noise. Because one day when you rise, when you win, when you break through the surface, they'll ask how you did it. And you'll say, in silence, in sweat, in solitude. Let me ask you, how many people doubted Elon Musk when he sold everything and slept in a Tesla factory, building a company that now dominates the world? They called him crazy. Now they call him a genius. That's the pattern. People don't understand solitude, but they always respect the results it creates. So if you're feeling alone right now, good. That means you're right where you need to be. You're in the trench where warriors are built. Don't fight the loneliness. Embrace it. Let it shape you. Let it refine you. Let it break the noise and build your strength. Because when the world finally sees the version of you that silence built, they won't believe their eyes. But you will. Because you were there when no one else was. You saw the whole journey. You earned every step. And that's real power. Let's be real. The gym is more than reps, weights, and sweat. It's a training ground for life. Every ounce of discipline you build under the bar shows up outside of it. The way you train becomes the way you live. You think consistency only matters on the bench press. Wrong. It matters when you're trying to hold a job, build a business, save a relationship, raise a family. Because the same voice that says quit the set, it's too hard, is the same voice that says quit the job, it's too stressful. You build more than muscle when you train. You build mental sharpness. You build emotional resilience. You build the ability to show up on time, every time, even when you don't feel like it. And that ability, that's the real weight people fail to lift in life. You know why the gym matters? Because when you get used to lifting heavy things, mentally and physically, the rest of life feels light. That's not just a metaphor. That's a fact. You go in there day after day, pushing your limits, squatting, pressing, grinding through failure, and suddenly the rest of your world starts shifting. Problems at work. You felt worse under the bar. Financial stress. You've trained your mind not to panic under pressure. Relationship conflict. You've already learned how to breathe, stay calm, and keep pushing when the pressure hits. You think those deadlifts are just building your legs. No, they're building your backbone. Every struggle you face in that gym is preparing you for struggles outside it. You start walking into life with more strength, more certainty, more calm, under fire. Look at someone like Joe Rogan. His philosophy is simple. Do difficult things daily so life doesn't break you when it gets hard. He trains hard not to look good on camera, but because it sharpens his mind for the chaos of the world he navigates. He's run a media empire, handled controversy, stayed clear-headed, and he credits a big chunk of that to discipline built in the gym. That's the point. You're not training to look good. You're training to live well. Here's the truth. If you can master your discipline when no one's watching, if you can show up, grind, and evolve when there's no applause, then you've built a kind of power most people will never touch. Think about it. Most people fall apart when things go quiet, when they don't get likes, when they don't get praised. They lose drive the moment eyes aren't on them. But not you. Because you've learned to thrive in the dark. You've learned how to stay consistent without an audience. That's bulletproof. That's elite. That's freedom. Because if silence can't stop you, nothing can. You want emotional strength? Master it in silence. You want clarity under stress? Train it in solitude. You want to be the calmest person in the room when everything's falling apart? Build it under the weight. The gym is your lab, your proving ground, your classroom. You learn lessons there that the world doesn't teach. Lessons like keep going, even when it hurts. No one's coming to rescue you. Pain is part of growth. Comfort is a lie. Mastery is boring, but necessary. You carry that mindset into life, and suddenly, you're ahead of the pack. You're not shaken by pressure. You don't fold when things get hard. You don't need motivation. You move from discipline. And that makes you unbreakable. Think of people who've built empires. They all have this in common. They know how to suffer in silence. They know how to execute without praise. They know how to keep climbing when no one's watching. So when you're training alone, don't feel sorry for yourself. Feel powerful. Because every second you spend grinding in the shadows is building a version of you that will dominate in the light. Don't just go to the gym to train. Go there to transform. Every session is more than a workout. It's a blueprint. It's a rehearsal for your real life. If you're weak in the gym, you'll be weak in life. But if you get strong there, you'll walk out with a strength most people can't understand. Not because you had more support, but because you had more self-control, more fire, more reasons, more pain. And you turned that pain into power. Let's burn this into your mind. Being alone is not emptiness. It's full of power, full of opportunity, full of clarity. While others are out chasing applause, you're building something real. While they chase noise, you chase mastery. When you're alone, your time is yours. Your energy is yours. Your focus is sharp. Your fire is pure. Alone is where vision comes to life. Alone is where the greats are made. Michael Phelps trained 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, for 5 years, without missing a single session. No crowd, no cameras, just pure obsession. That's what it takes. That's what being alone gives you. The space to become undeniable. When you first walked into the gym, no one held your hand. No one lifted your weights. You started alone. You were the one who chose to begin. And that's exactly how you'll rise alone. You don't need a crowd to get strong. You don't need approval to get results. You just need to remember why you started, what you came here to build, what pain you were trying to turn into power. Some days, you'll look around and see no one standing with you. But that's not a reason to stop. That's a reason to go harder. Because when no one believes in you, believing in yourself becomes a superpower. And when you rise from that, when you succeed without help, without hype, without shortcuts, no one can take it from you. Every time you walk into the gym, walk in like a warrior, head high, eyes sharp, mind locked in. Not for show, not for status, but because that room is your battleground. It's where you confront your weakness, where you face your fear, where you conquer your inner quitter. Step into the gym like a place where you win, not just train. You don't go in there to pass time. You go to earn your future. That iron isn't just weight, it's a weapon. And every rep you lift with purpose is a strike against your old self, your tired self, your lazy self. The gym is not punishment, it's preparation. And warriors prepare when no one's watching. Here's the final truth: being alone doesn't break you, it builds you. You don't need noise to grow. You don't need attention to succeed. You need grit. You need patience. You need vision when no one else sees it. You need to keep showing up, even when your progress is invisible. Because one day it won't be. One day the world will ask you how you did it. And you'll smile, because you'll know exactly how. You built this version of yourself in silence, with no cheerleaders, no pats on the back, No spotlight. Just work. Just reps. Just discipline. So keep going. Keep showing up. Keep rising. Because the world doesn't owe you a thing. But if you stay consistent, if you stay relentless, if you stay dangerous in the dark, you won't need the world to give you anything. You'll take what's yours. Before you walk away from this message, let me leave you with one final command. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for the pain to go away. Start now. You don't need a Monday. You don't need a new month. All you need is a reason. And you already have it. You've been alone. You've been doubted. You've been overlooked. Good. That's fuel. That's your fire. Use it. There's no secret to success. There's no magic formula. There's just action, repetition, consistency. That's how champions are built. Not in giant leaps, but in small, lonely steps done with purpose every single day. Maybe no one saw you on day one. Maybe no one clapped when you started. Maybe they laughed. But listen closely. They don't define your legacy. The world might forget where you began, but it will never forget where you finish. So finish strong. Finish loud. Finish like someone who never needed a spotlight. Because you became the fire. Remember this always. Being alone never broke you. And now, it's time to show the world what silence created.